Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Magnetic Soul Podcast. If you're here on YouTube, it's great to see you. I have been in the process of switching up everything, and all of my recordings will be available on YouTube. So I feel like it's just like a different vibe or energy. I feel like I'm with you in a different way. So it's fun to be here wherever you may be watching this or listening to this. It's interesting. I had a couple podcasts planned to record today, and it's funny because something's been happening. Actually, it happens a lot with me. It's like the angels and my guides, they like mess around with my songs and things like that when I'm out. And this is happened in really like divine moments in my life. But it's been happening a lot lately with this podcast, my own podcast. And I think it's just this sign of like, you need to listen to your own messages as a way to like unlock what needs to be unlocked in some way. And it's funny because I was in the car, and a couple times this has happened to me where I'll be in the car and I'll be listening to, either won't be listening to anything or I'll be listening to something else. And then all of a sudden my music shifts and skips to my podcast, and it will come through at this like random episode, like even episode 1. It was like episode 1 came on once, and I don't even know how that happened because I wasn't listening to it before, but it came on at this like middle, it was like 8 minutes in or something like that, where it came on, and it was like the exact moment of something I needed to hear because I was thinking about booking a trip to somewhere, and it was all about like land portals, unlocking the reason why we may need to travel or move to different places to help unlock something. And so it was like this exactly what I needed to hear in the moment. And the same thing happened today because I have so many things that are coming. I have so many creations that I am in the works of creating. And sometimes when you feel like you have so much you need to do, and, in 2 months I'll be giving birth. So it feels like the pressure cooker is on a little bit. And along with this eclipse, like there's just such a moment of really rising up and stepping in. And I really like to relate these messages because the messages that want to come through today are for whenever you need to hear this. So it feels like this pressure cooker, and a friend who will be on the podcast soon, Will, kind of shared with me a little reframe. It was like this reframe around, yes, it could be a pressure cooker, but it also pressure cooker cooks the food faster. So look at it in a different way. And it's so true. But it was funny because today the same thing happened to me. I was listening, out of nowhere it came on. I flipped it. It came to like one random message. I think it was like my angel messages podcast episode. And it was this having so many things or ideas on the go and not sure how to decipher what to do next. And the message that was in that podcast episode that will help you, and why I'm even sharing this with you, is because it was this message of coming deep into your heart and following that initial thread and that pull, and do that which is going to lead to the next or open the gates for the next thing. So this long-winded story is really this topic of why this episode felt really pressing to share first for this week, or whenever you're listening to this or watching this. These messages really wanted to come through for right now. So I'm just following the call, I'm listening. And so we are going to be bringing through a few different messages that wanted to come through for right now for you, whether that be for this week or whenever you may be listening or watching this. There is this really big opportunity right now where we've been, you may have been running on one track, but there's an opportunity to really jump up into a higher timeline. And it's interesting because I'm seeing it as this, like, it feels like an opportunity, and it's like this choice point, yes, but it also just feels like a bump up into a higher frequency, a bump up into a higher energy. And with that, it's like, it's a higher timeline, but it's also a higher frequency, a higher energy. Like we've been running in this one way, but there's a bump happening where we're shifting to a higher vibration, or we're shifting to a higher timeline. And it's really this moment to align yourself with this higher timeline. It feels like an opportunity as well. And this opportunity, whether that be through this energetic shift that you're going through, whether it be through like a physical opportunity, a deep knowing, or some kind of shift within you, but you are really being invited or invited into this like higher realm, whatever that may be for you. So if there's a physical opportunity or an idea that's coming your way, it's like this is a yes. It's like bumping you up to this new timeline, this new energy. It feels like an opportunity. So this opportunity is actually coming for you as a result of something that you've integrated. So you've taken time to rest, maybe integrate, you've receiving a lot of new energy. And this bump or this shift or this timeline hop is coming as a result of this integration of something you've integrated. So it also feels like new connections are coming in. It feels like a lot of higher connections as well. So a lot of new guides, a connection to higher consciousness, like your consciousness is shifting as well. But there's a lot of new connections coming in that are like this opportunity to show you like, yes, you're meant to be in this space. Like people who are doing maybe bigger things than what you're currently doing, or like showing you this new way. It's like these people are coming in as a way to show you like, yes, this is the frequency that you are meant to be in. This is the frequency of what you're meant to immerse yourself in, because you're ready for like something bigger. This timeline hop, this opportunity right now to choose a new timeline, to jump into a new energy, a new timeline, a new frequency. And so really this is a lot about like past opportunities, past actions, like something you've integrated. It's all integrated, like these new gifts, this new energy is really integrated, and you are just ready for more. So it feels like past actions have brought you here, and you're ready to kind of like open the door to like your dreams, your destiny, like what you're meant to step into is really why you came here for is happening right now. There's a lot to do with like mission and purpose, which when we really speak of mission, that's like, it has a different energy to it. It has a depth to it. It has a deeper meaning. And so you are ready for more. You deserve more. You are capable of more. Your energy and capacity is completely shifted and integrated. So you are ready for this increased amount of energy or output. It also could be this, you're ready to receive more. You're ready to experience more. So there is this moment, and I feel like it's funny that the Lyrans have been coming through a lot for me. I've been connecting with them a lot. Them and the Pleiadians, they're kind of coming through together, but they're really coming in to connect deeper with the heart. So there's a lot to do with the energy of the heart, and really dropping into this heartfelt moment where you go so deep into your heart, which is like the keys to your soul, the portal of your heart. And there's this deep divine knowing that lives there. There's this deep divine readiness that is there. Your heart is ready to reveal something to you. So it feels like something to do with, it has a gift for you. It's like a gift that's ready to be revealed to you. A deeper message. This soul knowing deep within your heart space of seeds of knowledge, ancient knowledge that have been planted long ago. This ancient soul awareness that is ready to rise up. And so it does feel like needing to really connect with your heart, because your heart is revealing something to you. Your heart is giving you a message, but you have to go deep into that space because it has a knowing and there's a readiness there. So if you ever feel like you are not ready for something, or you're feeling kind of like frazzled, I don't know, by something, it's like go deep into that heart and listen to that heart space, because that heart, there's a knowing there. There's a soul awareness, there's a key, there's a message for you there. But it takes going so deep within your heart, because they've been telling me a lot about this energy of like our capacities shifting. And they want to share that when we really let ourselves dissolve and live in an unrestricted way, spending some time really sitting in the heart, because there's some kind of truth that wants to be revealed. There's some kind of knowing. And when we tap into the energy of truth, it is like divine truth. It's your soul's truth. And when we really sit in that energy, there really is this knowing that exists without really understanding or knowing why. And if you spend time sitting in this space rather than getting caught up in the mind and the ego and everything going on around you, it's like really getting clear and sitting in this portal of your heart, because there's something that wants to be brought forward for you. And it's like this truth, this knowing, this level of divine truth that sits there. And oftentimes when we connect with that heart, we are able to connect with the expansive essence of our soul, of what's really possible for us that is like beyond all of these restrictions. And the Lyrans are very much coming forward in this message because they are really asking us to live without restriction, to really move beyond these familiar baselines, these familiar default modes that we go back into, the restrictions that we place upon ourselves, to move beyond these familiar edges of this like layers that are too confined, they're too constricting because you've evolved. It's time to push the energy out because they're all really like activating our magnetism and our energy and our fields, because our fields are ready to take up more space. So it's like, if you really sit here and imagine like all these layers dissolving around you, where you place limits on what's possible for you, where you place limits and restrictions on what's available for you, because you're capable of more. So it's time to push past those familiar edges or that comfort zone that you're in and really expand yourself to receive more. It's like, when like there's that saying, like the universe wants to give, like you think you're only deserving of, I'm going to totally butcher this, but you feel like you're only deserving of this, like this tiny amount, but you're really actually, the universe wants to give you like the gold mine, right? But you're hanging on to these old things, and you are just capable of so much more, and your vibration has changed, and we're really elevating to that new baseline. So with that energy of, a new baseline, really choosing the new timeline, there is that element of choice, right? So are we going to continue to choose the same way of doing things or the same default mode that we go back to, or are we going to choose the new? And a lot of your future selves, so it's almost like, okay, we have these past lived experiences that we go through, right? Like we have these lived experiences that we have as a way to provide or predict our future outcome. We don't want to live that way, because what may have been true for you in the past was part of that experience, and we're in a new experience. So if you can really sit here and connect with the energy of your future self and what is possible for your future self, and really elevate to that new baseline, because there is an element of choosing the new rather than continuing in this same old fashion. And this can come up in subtle ways, right? It can come up in the subtle ways of, like, even for example, I'll give you an example of how this came in. I'm switching everything to a new system. Like I'm recording all of my podcast, and I'm learning a new technology and a new system. And I was going to record the March energy update in the just GarageBand. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm delivering these messages, so I should probably be doing them too. So it was like this moment of choice. Like, are you really going to choose that familiar way, or are we going to choose the new way? And yes, you're learning a new system. You may be learning something new, a beginner at something, but just keep going with it, because it's like time to feed this new outcome. It's time to feed the new way, rather than continuing in like that comfort, that place of comfort. It's time to elevate, right? So it was this moment of like choice of like, okay, are we going to choose the same way, or are we going to choose the new way? The universe is really saying like, yes, this is happening for you. Yes, you're having the green light. Yes, this is possible for you, but you have to rise to the occasion, right? You have to raise your worth, raise your frequency, and shift out of this old default mode and become an energetic match to what it is that you're stepping into, right? It's time to just go for it, and you're really, really being supported in going for it, and really just sitting with that energy that you're worthy of more, you're capable of receiving more is possible for you, and you're really elevating to that new energy and timeline. So what may have been the case for you in the past isn't the case for you now, because you've shifted, you're in a new energy, you're in a new vibration. So I will leave that with you. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. I hope these messages helped. It felt really pressing that I needed to get this out to you guys before the next episode that I originally had planned. But if you are looking for some extra guidance or that one-on-one support in some way, you can book a session with me. All of the links are in my show notes to working with me. Another thing coming up in a couple weeks, that I will be hosting a couple different group activation sessions as well as group readings and channeling. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you could like, subscribe, leave a review wherever you may be listening to this or watching this, I would be so grateful. So I hope you have a great day and enjoy this episode.